subscribe and click the notifications button.
Hi, Kim here with Art Classes for Kids. Welcome to my video for the clay sculpture project. Now, if this is your first time ever to one of our pre-recorded videos, then let me tell you what the really awesome part of watching one of the pre-recorded videos is. It's that you can pause this video at any time. If I'm moving faster than you like to go, you can slow it down by pausing and then joining me back when you're ready. Also, some people need to take a break or they only have a little amount of time and they really want to take their time. You could always start the project, pause it, and then go back to it a little bit later. So let me tell you what we're gonna need to do this project, but before I do that actually, I'm gonna tell you and show you an example of what we're making. We are going to be making something a little like this. This is a clay relief sculpture. A relief meaning that it isn't in the round, it's just a textural thing with a flat background that you don't really look at the back. You only look at what's in the front. Now we're going to be making this. It's inspired by the famous Japanese pop artist Takashi Murakami. It's inspired by his really popular flowers with the happy faces. Some are rainbows, some are two-toned, and some are just one color. Those are on lots of things you might have seen. And this project is really inspired by his painting from 2004 called Vapor Trail. You see, it's clouds, a bunch of flowers growing out of the ground, and there's this little airplane flying down, leaving a little vapor trail. Anyway, we'll be doing all this, learning more about the artist, and creating the sculpture, but I need you to grab this bag. A6, the clay sculpture project. This will have the things that you need specifically for this project, but you're going to need a few other things that came out of your original welcome bag. So let's start with this bag. You're going to need well, you don't really need the instructions because I'm going to give you all the instructions in this video. But I want you to keep this in case you want to make it again. Also, there are, little tips of how to make this project turn out really well. Some vocabulary words, and it tells you if you want more inspiration to look up this artist or other things related to this project. And the kids, a lot of my students, they want to learn a lot about these artists so they can be inspired to create their own things and see what's going on out there in the art world. Now, besides the instructions, you are going to get two pieces of foam core. One that you're going to build your sculpture on and one that you're going to mount it to so it looks like it has a little frame. You're also going to get a label so that you can write your name and date on the back. And you're going to get 4 little bags or packets of Model Magic. So Model Magic is like, I don't know, some people call it marshmallow clay because it feels like marshmallows. And it's a non-toxic, colorful clay that dries out really quick. So you want to, I'm going to give you some tips on how to keep it from drying out. You got 3 colors, the primaries, plus this package actually is white, even though the type's black, because if they wrote it in white, you wouldn't be able to read it on white background, right? So anyway, you've got your 4 packs. You've got this, and now the other things you're going to need are, you're going to need a piece of cellophane from your cellophane roll that was in your welcome bag. You're going to need a pencil, and you're going to need a Sharpie. There was a Sharpie in there. You're also going to need tape to tape down your cellophane, a glue stick to glue down your label, and then 2 things from your house that weren't in the bag, and that is a pair of scissors. Pick the scissors you like to cut with. And also, if you can go to your kitchen and see if you can find a toothpick. A toothpick is really cool for picking up tiny pieces of clay that are harder to pick up than your finger. But this is only optional. You don't have to have this, but if you've got one, go grab one. So gather up your supplies and then come back and meet me and we are gonna get started. Okay, hopefully you've gathered everything up, and now what I want you to do is take the name tag and write your name and today's date in it. Once you've got your name and date on it, go ahead and give it a little glue around the edges. And then on your large board of the 2, the larger one, you're gonna flip it over and you're putting this on the back. I guess you don't have to flip it over, it's the same on both sides. But you're gonna rub down your label And then you're not going to need this for a while, so go ahead and set it aside. But you are going to need your smaller white foam board because we're going to be drawing on this and building up our sculpture. The first thing we're going to do is draw where the clouds go. And I'm going to show you how to figure that out. Okay, we're going to make a few guidelines and then we're going to make the cloud shapes. So on your, let's see, on your right side, I want you to make a mark about halfway down, like a little dot. And then on your left side, I want you to make a mark between half and all the way up, so right about here. So we've got one halfway down the right side and one a quarter of the way down the left side. Or you could go half and then go halfway between your fingers, whichever way works. Now you're going to make these curves. I want you to give me at least 3 curves. You can make 3, you can make 4, and they're going, starting at the lower dot, and you're going to make those until they get up here. If you want to practice, you can use your eraser and draw them with an eraser, and then if you like them, you keep them. If you don't like them, you rub them out, okay? So I'm going to go over all that, and then I take my pencil and I draw them. This one's a little wonky. I think I'm gonna adjust this one. Make that one a little puffier. All right, now we're going to make another one, but this one is going to start, well, let's see. This one can start anywhere you want, but I'm going to take this puff on the right and I'm going to follow that line and I'm going to come down and now I'm going to make a couple more until I get not to the bottom corner, but just a little bit above the bottom left. So I'm going from here to here with 2 or 3 bumps. So now I'm going to go back over my eraser crumbs and rub that. Now I'm wondering if I like my first one. I don't know. I think I'm gonna bring this one down a little more. I'm gonna go here, 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 and maybe right here. So I've adjusted these, and I'm going to erase. Okay, now I really like how mine's looking. You can adjust yours if you like, but mine looks like this. All right, now we're going to do the sky. So to do the sky, you won't need this pencil anymore. To do the sky, you're gonna take blue and you're going to cut this packet open neatly. You don't need the whole packet. You would use half at the most for your sky. So maybe I'll pull out half. And I'm making sure all my eraser crumbs are off my workspace because, look, I still have paint there from my last project and I didn't change it because that was my only slip up. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're going to grab some blue. You can have a dark blue sky or you can have a light blue sky, but I'm gonna put that in here. Once I take out the clay I want, I'm going to shut this and just close it, or I could even take my tape and tape it closed. But I want the least amount of air to get in this because once it starts drying, it doesn't stick as good. So now I'm taking my white and I'm going to take a little more than half of this. There's that. Let's see if I can get a little more out of this. Okay, I've got that much. Now I'm going to shut this back up like that. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to smash this clay together. How I'm gonna do it. Now, if you guys like to work with slime and stuff and you like to pull, you know, a lot of people use Model Magic in their slime to get the real buttery slime. So what you're going to do is you're just gonna stretch it and you're gonna keep doing this. This is the fun part. If you wanna get a lighter shade of blue. So I just go like this. Now that one's really light. That was mostly white with a little bit of blue. But this one I'm going to make a new blue. And if I want it more turquoisey, I add a little touch of yellow. Ooh, I could show you how to do that. But I like this guy. If I wanted it to look like the turquoise back here, it's got a little more yellow in it. So I can go like this, and I keep pulling it. See how it became lighter? Okay, I think I want a little white, a little more white in it. Actually, I'm gonna open this up. I'm saving a little bit of white for my other flowers. Okay, so I'm adding more white. Sometimes I just stretch it out like this. Stick it in there. Keep kneading it together. Then I'm going to take a little bit of yellow. It's like mixing paint. It's just you're doing it with clay. Okay, I'm taking a little bit of yellow, this, and open it up. Gonna mash that in. Now I'm stretching it just like you would, like I said, just like you would if it was slime. But it's still going to look mostly blue, because blue was the color I had the most of, I think. I had a lot of white too, so I probably had 50% white, 50% blue. Ooh, it's turning too green. Let's see if we can get it back to turquoise here. Okay, I'm starting to get... Okay, we're getting it there. It's looking kind of green. I'm going to have to add more white and more blue. So white. Oh my gosh, I think I put too much yellow in it. Okay, let's add some more blue. Okay, I'm adding more blue. We're taking it back to blue. Okay, if you want to make the light blue, use mostly white with only a teeny bit of blue in it. And I will show you what that looks like. Okay, so that's like my turquoisey blue. Looks a little bit like that. Okay, so now this is how I do the next part. I'm taking it and I'm rolling it into a worm. I'm gonna have a lot left over, but I'm gonna use that on my flowers and my leaves. So I take a piece and I roll the skinniest worm I can. Once I have that rolled, I'm going to press that over my pencil lines. And I make a little point there. And when I want to cut it off, I can use scissors or I can use the toothpick. I'll show you both ways. So I just cut that with scissors. And then I'm going to make another worm for the other edge. Alrighty, now I take this and I go over here and I press in between each one. Oh, that one got kind of skinny. That's okay. I push it down. Now I have to work fast because this clay starts to dry. And now I get it all over to there. Oopsie. So now I've got clay on top of my outlines. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the whole top section. How I'm gonna do that is, I'm going to take a piece, I'm gonna roll it. And then I'm going to flatten it like a pancake. And I'm gonna stretch it a little. And now I'm gonna put it down like this. And I'm gonna pull it till it reaches the other part. And this is all extra, but I rub it around the corner and then I cut it. Like that. Now I take some of my scraps and I put those in these areas. Whoops. And I cut them And at first, it looks just kind of messy, but then what I do is I smooth it out. So I need a little bit more over here. So then I'm just kind of patching it together. Like this. You can use your pencil if you don't have any eraser crumbs, and you can go like this and tap it into the shape you want. And you can also tap it here or smooth it with your pencil eraser. So where those lines are, you can rub it and kind of get rid of those lines. Alrighty, now we've got this right here. We can push this in with our eraser. Works as a tool, and now I'm gonna pull this towards it. I need a little piece right in here. Let's put that there. And now I've got this section, and then I'm done with my sky. So I'm gonna mush all this back together. You can even roll it like this. Roll out a piece like this and smash it. Stretch it and fit that in here around the corner. See how I'm wrapping it around? Then I can get another piece, smash that. Maybe I'll fit that in here. All right, so all the extra, I'm rolling around the edge. Or, I can also tap this to get it even. And now I'm cutting off the excess. So now we've got this, and now the only thing is we've got it covered, we've got it wrapped around, we don't necessarily need this, so I can take my toothpick and scrape it off. So the back is nice and flat. Okay, I've got, let's see, I've got the back kind of cleaned up. Now I look at the front, and I can always do this to the front. Smash it down, get all my clay scraps. Now I want my clay scraps to stay together in a ball, because once they're little pieces, the smaller the piece, the quicker they dry out. Like that. Okay, so now I go to the front. It's looking pretty good, but I want to smooth these things out. So I can either go like this, or I can take this and I can roll it. But you just don't want that lid part on it to roll. So you can try this method to smooth it out. Once you get that, you can take your pencil again and you can tap the inside of the clouds to get that roundness. Or you can rub with your finger. And before you know it, you've got it. I'm going to tap this again and get rid of the excess. So I'm cleaning it up. See, you have to work it a little, you know? You don't get it right on the first try, you just keep working it. Okay, let me tap that down again. Okay, you can tap it down, you can take your toothpick again, and you can scratch it across the bottom and get rid of the extra. Get rid of this extra stuff. Alrighty, so now I think we are doing pretty good. We've got our cloud. We can make these pointier if we want. I can push that one up and make it more arched. Ooh, I don't want to see my pencil marks. I want to push it that far. Alrighty, so now we've got our background done. And now it's time to start making flowers. So let's start making flowers. Okay, move that out of the way. I've got my toothpick here. I've got my scissors. Now this one, I don't want this to get, you know, to get dry. So I'm going to just hide it in here with the white one. Okay, so now we're going to make the faces. Murakami always has yellow faces. You can have any color face you want, but I'm gonna go with yellow and show you how that's done. So you're going to take a pinch of yellow, just a little pinch, and you're going to roll it in a ball to get it soft, and then you're gonna roll it into a little worm, and you only need little pieces. So once you get it about the size of a pencil, like the thickness of a pencil, once you get that, then you're gonna break it into about 1/4 of an inch. You can have 4 or probably 4 flowers is good, but you can have 5 if you want. Now each one of these I'm going to roll into a ball. So now I need, now I need 5 yellow balls. And I'm gonna see if they're the same size afterwards. Those ones are the same. This one seems a little small. I'm gonna grab a little extra clay and roll it in. Maybe a little extra more. Woo! Run away, ball of clay. Okay, now we've got 5 balls of clay. That one can be a little bigger. Okay, and I'm going to keep that in here. Now each one of these, I'm going to press it so it's flat but not super thin. About, oh my gosh, how big is that? That's about a 1/2 inch circle. Now they're gonna get a little flatter because each time we do something to them, they mush out a little more. So we've got our 5 yellow circles that are flattened. Those are going to become the faces. But what we need to do is give them each a mouth and some eyes. I'm gonna give you some options too. So the mouth, you're just going to roll a really skinny worm like this. And then you're going to either break it with your toothpick into 4 tiny pieces, like that. And then you're gonna take these, you can roll this in a little ball. And then you can roll that back out into a worm, and then the corners are a little pointed, or you can roll them into points. But I think this way is the easiest method, which is that you roll a ball. I'll roll all balls and show you, except that one. And then you roll your ball out a little, like that. This one might be a little too much. I'm gonna roll this one into a ball again, and then I'm gonna roll it like that, and like that. Not too big. Once I press these down, you see what happens? It turns into like a football or a lemon or an oval. So I'm gonna do that one more time. I'm gonna have it in that little wormy shape. And now I'm gonna take that and barely touch it to pick it up and place it on the face, which is the yellow flat thing. And then I'm going to push it down and it makes the mouth. If I want it more smiley, I pull down. I'll show you that again. You just set it on the face with your finger or with the toothpick if it's hard to use your finger. And you press it down, and if you want to stretch it out, you can always stretch it with a toothpick. If you want it more smiley, that's up to you. And I've got 2 more. Just barely roll it and then put it on here. This one I'm gonna make it kind of smile curve up. Like that. Now when I press it, looks like that. So they can have different expressions like emojis. Okay, I've got that one. And this one doesn't look too happy. Let me just pull down the bottom. Okay, if you want it to look happier, just pull down at the bottom of the red. That one's gonna be my ooh one, and that one's gonna be my super smiley one. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to get into serious detail. We're going to take the black Sharpie and we're gonna make 2 black eyes on each one. Just dot it in. Now it does look like an emoji. Now that you've got your two black eyes in, you can put highlights. This is a really advanced option. You don't have to do it. You can just be happy with the black eyes. But you could do that with the white. So I have my white left over in here. This is how I do highlights, if I wanted to, is I roll the skinniest worm in the world. That means skinnier or thinner than a toothpick. So it's about that big. And then I'm going to pinch off a tiny piece. It's like you're doing surgery, okay? And I put a little dot here, and I cut off another piece, and I put two highlights, because Murakami had two highlights. See right here? He's got two shines on each eye. So if you want to be really advanced, you can do that. If you don't, just pause the video for a sec, or fast forward the video, and just skip this part. So I'm going to put two. So that one, I've got, let me zoom it in. Oops. Now I got to get it off here without smashing it, okay. I've got two, and then come on. That's the super detail. But remember, there's always options. That's the super. Okay, I've given all mine a highlight, but remember, that was just an option. Now, we've gotten that, we're going to make our first flower. Now, I'm gonna show you how to make a simple flower with the colors we have, and after that, I'm gonna show you how to mix. So the first flower, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of red and a little bit of blue, and I'm going to roll a worm smaller than a pencil, bigger than a toothpick, so halfway in between there. Then I'm doing the same with red. Now for each flower, I need 6 even pieces. I can either cut them with a toothpick or I can cut them with scissors. I'll go ahead and cut them with scissors. I have one. They're about, I would say they're about 3/8 of an inch. Now we need 6 sets. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I don't have enough blue on this one. Okay, so now we've got these last 2. Okay, ooh, we gotta get them apart. Okay, so now we will pull these apart. Okay, let's cut and redo that. Save that, because this piece right here, I'm going to mush this into purple, but I shouldn't have had those so close together that I couldn't get them apart since they were so moist. So let's learn from that lesson. So this one, I'm making a purple. Okay, I've got a nice purple. I'm saving that for another flower. But let's do the blue and red again. So we're going to get enough blue. Like that. Let's say as long as 4 faces apart. Now I'm going to get enough red. About that big. Okay, now each one of these I'm cutting into, let's say, about 1/2 of an inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Take all my scraps, shove them back in the bag. Now I need 6 of these. Let me cut off that tip, it's kind of skinny. Now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Okay, you two get apart. They want to stick together. Okay, we have just what we need. Now each one of these, what I like to do is roll them all into a ball now. So that I will have 6 blue balls and 6 red balls. Now I take the ball and I roll it into a worm, but I only press on one side. Now it looks like the top of a Q-tip. So I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna make 6 of those. 1, 2, 3. I only roll one side of it. See, I roll it at an angle. I put all the pressure on one side. And now I've got 6 red, I call them Q-tip tops, and now I've got blue. Quit running into that one. Okay, now we've got 1, 2, oops. This one's kind of funky. Okay. That's a big one. 3, 4. Oh, that one is big. Maybe it's because it's 2. Okay, let me roll it apart. There's 1. Okay, so I've got 6 blue and 6 red. Time to put together the petals onto the face. Watch how I do it. I take the face and I turn the face upside down. Now I put one on top of red using the pointed part over the yellow, or using that pointy part. And I put that pointy part over the yellow here. And I'm going to have 2 on the right. And I'm going to have 2 on the left. Okay, the easy part. Now you just point one of these in between each red. Like that. Press it down in the middle, flip it over, and there is your flower. But now we want them all the same length. So push them in and make them the same length all the way around. And then you get your cute little flower. Okay, now take this flower and I'm gonna make this be my tall flower. It's going to be on the top right here where the cloud, where I had a little area that I didn't smooth out as good as the other areas. So I'm gonna camouflage that with the flower, press your flower down. Once it's down, it's not coming up without pulling the rest of it up. But now I have this color, this purple I made, and I have some of this turquoise still. I also have yellow. So I think I'll make my next one purple and yellow. Well, actually, I'm gonna make the yellow be kind of orangey yellow. So I'm taking only a little bit of red because the red is more powerful than the orange when it comes to mixing. Okay, so now I took that yellow and that orange and I'm gonna keep kneading it. And now I've got orange. So I'm going to roll this orange till it's even. And let's see if I can get that. Okay, I've got this shape. And now I've got to have just about that much of the purple. Now I'm going to cut this into 6 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somehow I'm going to make this work. Okay, and this one, 6 sections. Now each one of these I roll into a ball. So hopefully you've created 2 new colors out of all these colors. Now that you know how it's gonna work. Okay, I've got 6 of those. And I'm going to get 6 of these purples. Okay, after you do that, you're going to roll it till one end has a point, and you'll need 6 of each color. I've got my 6 purples. Now I'm going to roll one side and get 6 oranges. Oh, I like how that orange turned out. I'm gonna have to make that one again. Okay, I've got 6 orange. They look like miniature micro carrots. And I've also got 6 that are dark, dark purple. I'm taking one of my faces, flipping it upside down, taking a purple, putting it on the top. Taking another purple with a pointy side onto the yellow, making it go down. Now I'm doing 2 on the right and 2 on the left. And now I add orange in between, making sure I point the skinny pointy end towards the center. Okay, we've got that, and now we can squeeze it in and flip it over. And now I've got my second flower. Looks like this. So now I look at my artwork, where will it go? Maybe it'll go left, maybe it'll go right. I think I'm gonna go right here to the left. Right in this spot. Okay, so far I'm looking like this. We've got 2 more flowers to go. And if you have a spare extra one, you can fit 1 more in. So this time I'm going to use the turquoise color. Oh, it's starting to dry out. I better get it in here. But I'm going to add, let me take a little piece. I'm going to add more yellow to this one. So I'm taking them together, rolling them up, mushing them, twisting them, whatever it takes to get this to mix. It's not like you stir it in a bowl. You just keep stretching it out, and before you know it, it's a new color. It's a solid color. This is going to be a greenier one. Okay, it's looking good. If you roll it in your hand, you get it warmer. Once you get it warmer and get that heat going, that's when it wants to stretch. But not when it's cold. Okay, I'm digging this color. It's kind of like a lime green. Okay. So we're doing the lime green. Okay, I'm gonna roll out a worm. I'm gonna save some of this for my leaf petals. So right now, what I'm going to do is cut off a couple of inches, save this, but remember, I gotta keep it moist or else I'm gonna be sad later, okay? So I'm saving this. Now I'm going to create a new color. I'm going to create a pink by taking some red and some white and mushing this together. So remember, all you gotta do is keep mushing it, but if you want it to stretch out easier, just roll it in your hand and get it really warm, and then you can keep stretching it and mixing it just like this. So this is how we're just mixing our clay, getting our colors. Instead of stirring it in a palette, we're doing it in our fingers. Okay, so we're getting more colors. Okay, I hardly put any red in it and still it came out this dark. So that's okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm saving a little of it to mix into my next thing, and I'm going to roll this into my worm like this. Got these 2. Okay, don't stick together. Okay, so I'm cutting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm at 6. This one is awfully big. Let's cut that one down. And so is that one. Okay. Stick my scraps together, roll each one of these in a little ball. And now I've got my 6 red chunks. Now I'm going to cut this one into 6 chunks. Roll these each into a ball. Okay, now to make the petals. Okay, now I've got my 6 balls of red and my 6 balls of green. Actually, they're kind of pinkish. And I'm going to roll the end on one so that it looks pointy on one end. The Q-tip look, I call it. And then I've got 6 of those. Now do that to your others. And now we're ready to add these to the face. So turn it over. Let's start with the red. Let's go out, out, out. 2 on the side. You guys have probably memorized this by now. and then 2 on the other side. Okay, and now green in between. Okay, try to make them the same, length as the others and flip it over. Whoa, now I've got my green and red flower. This one I think I'll put right over here. Okay, I'm going to make one more with you. Now this one, I really wanted this pinkier, so I'm taking only part of this, and then I'm going to have a lot more white. So I'm going to mush this out, I'm going to stretch this out. See how much more white I have than pink, or than reddish pink? Let's see if I can get this pinkier. Okay, roll it in my hand, get it warm. And now stretch. Stretch. So I don't know what colors you guys are coming up with, but I hope it's something really cool. I think I'm gonna try to make a light purple this time. Okay, so I've got this. Oh, now I'm getting pink. Finally, I'm getting pink. Okay. Okay, I've got pink. Yay! Okay, so now I'm going to close the ends up, roll that out. That's one of mine. Now this one is going to be like with white and a little bit of purple. So this one, roll it up, get it warm, and stretch it apart. Oh, didn't get it that warm. Better get it warmer. Okay, now I'm stretching it apart. Perfect. Okay, but this looks a lot like my other color, so now I'm going to add the purple to it. And I've got to get it nice and warm. Okay, stretch it out. Oh, now I'm getting a cool lavender. I think this is kind of a fun part, seeing what kind of colors you can create. Oh yeah, this is going to be a good one. Stretch it out a little bit. Now it looks like my table cover. Okay, so we've got this one looking good. Now I'm going to roll it out. So now we've got pink and purple. So I'll take this and cut this into 6 pieces. I think that's a scrap. My last one was kind of a little chunky. I think I made my pieces too big. Okay, so I'm making sure I don't overdo it. There's my 6 purple, and now my 6 pink. Let me cut that off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these are my scraps. Okay, all my scraps are going in here for a while. Now, I roll these out. Roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Okay. Then, I'm going to make these have a point on the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I will do that to the pinks. Okay, now we're making a flower. Flip this over and okay, I'm trying to make them all the same length petals and flip it over. Yep, that one's pretty cute. So now this one will come down here. You know what, I'm changing positions. I'm putting that one low and that one high. Okay, I think 4 is plenty, but this, just keep this to have a little emoji, clay emoji. Okay, now we've got this, and now it's time to make the stems and the leaves. So far, we're looking like this. Okay, I'm taking yellow with only a little bit of blue in it, well, a little bit less than that. And I'm going to make some different greens. I thought I saved some lime green. Did I? Oh, I did. Okay, then this is going to be a lighter lime green. So I'll take this color and I'll add a little white to it. So I've got 2 different shades of green so far. I'm gonna start making my stems. Now the stems are really skinny, like that original skinny line we made to make our cloud lines. You can even go skinnier if you want. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a green line, and I'm going to start with my longest one and put it right here and go straight down till I get to the bottom, and then I cut it and I press it. Especially if it sticks to some other clay. Now I'm taking my scrap and I'm making another stem that fits pretty good right there. Okay, let me make 2 more. Cut that one off. That one got a little fat. I'll just tap it in together. I could use my toothpick, make it a little skinnier if I want. And this one, let's see if we can get this one long enough. Oh yeah, I think it's working. Okay, now we've got all of our stems. All we have left are the leaves. How we do the leaves are, we make more skinny worms, like this. Let's make a few more like this. So I'm gonna have 3 shades of greenish color. So I'll have this blue green, this turquoise, plus this and this, and maybe even a lighter one. Let's mix it up. Okay, those are our 4 colors. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll put these next to each other, and it's okay if they stick. And I'm going to break them into little pieces like this. And when I get 2 pieces together like this, I'm just gonna pinch each corner, and then they get narrow in the corner. Then I put it down and I press it in, and I make sure it sticks to the stem. So I'll do that again and show you. I pinch it after I've cut 2, and I can put it to the left of the stem or the right of the stem. You see, right here, you can even use bright colors. He uses lots of greens, but sometimes it's got pink and blue. So we're gonna add a few of those in too. We're starting like this. Add one here. You can cut them with the scissors, and then you pinch them and you put them on. Okay, now I think I'll mix a few combinations. I'll do turquoise and the lightest green. I'll do a few of those, and I pinch it in the sides and I put it right there. I'll do this one, but I'll have the blue at the bottom. Do it right there. Now you can take some of your colors if you like pink. And now I'm gonna mix a pink with a green if I can get these apart. Nope, can't get them apart. I'll make a new one. So I'm hooking pink together with green. And then I'm cutting that into a few pieces. Now I pinch, I pinch these like that. And then I stick it on somewhere. Pink and green, adding a little color. Okay, let's do one with this purple color that I had left. So purple and green. Whoops. Okay, here comes a purple and green one. Put that one there. So they're all different. Maybe I'll do a few more. I'll do this one. Right there. Gosh, I don't know if I need any more. Let me see if I can get one more. I'll do a pink and purple one. pinch, pinch, and stick this one right here. This one doesn't have any at the bottom. Okay, now I think I'm done sculpting. If you're done sculpting, it's time to mount it. Now, let me show you how to mount it the best way you can. If you want to keep this clay, and you'll probably have extra clay left over, you know, if you don't want them to stick together, then you mush it. Put the colors that match, you can put those together, or you can just mush them together and have one new color that you mix together. That's up to you. So this one I'm going to make into a ball. This one I'm going to make into a ball. And this one into a ball. And this one. So you want to make sure that you close these things up airtight. So I'm going to push my yellow way down in the bottom. Then I'm putting in my 2 greens. Give a little space. And I'm going to seal that closed, put some tape on it, so that I can make something else with it, or I can make my friends some little flowers if I want. Okay, I've got that. Now I'm putting this in here and closing this one up. Got to tape it up so it's airtight. Now you've got a few weeks to use this before it'll start getting dried out. And the white, oh my gosh, I only had that much white left. They make a ball out of that. So in my white, I'm going to put a few colors in. And I'm going to fold this one up, roll it up. Now it's only this big. Tape that one, because you gotta take care of your stuff after you're done using it. Don't just leave a mess out, especially if someone else is cleaning up. Okay, so this one, I have turquoise and the original blue, all in the blue bag. So I close it up, fold it. Let's see if I can get that to mush out. And tape it over. Whoop, my tape got stuck. Okay, I've got mine taped down. Okay, so we've got that part. We've got our clays. Look at, I have like half the clay left. You can make a whole other one. So save all this, but make sure it's sealed and tightly taped. And now all we have is I've saved my little emoji because I'm just gonna stick that on something cute, I guess. And I'm going to do this. Oh, if you want it to look like this vapors thing, you could put, ooh, you know what? This is an advanced option, but I'm gonna show you anyway. You could make it look like an airplane's coming down into the scene. And if you wanna do that, you can take your white, but you gotta make it really skinny, like this, because it's the vapor trail. So I'm going to make a straight line and another straight line, but I want them to be, oh, it's not so even, but it still works. Okay, then I take my toothpick and I bring them together to a point. And I can take my Sharpie and make a little line with an arrow so it looks like an airplane going down. And there's my little stream, my little vapor stream, my vapor line, okay? And let's see, let's put this back. Gotta tape this all back together again. Let's see where my tape went. Okay, got that put away. Now, what we're going to do is we're gonna wrap it. So you have that roll of cellophane, you don't need this whole piece. It's big enough for a piece of paper twice as big. So go ahead and trim it. And I'm gonna trim this side too. And lay it flat, and then pick up your art like this and flip it over. Now you're going to take your tape, start with the wide sides, and pull it around and tape it at least twice. And take the long side again and wrap it around and tape this at least twice. Now do that thick top part first. Now you're gonna need a bunch of tape for this side, maybe 3 tapes, but you wanna curl in the corners so they don't show from the front. Now if this tape goes around to the front, don't worry because it won't show up because it's the same look as the cellophane because it's cellophane tape, okay? Okay, so we've got that. Now we're doing the bottom. So I've got the bottom coming around. Now I do the corners. Do the other corner. And we've got it wrapped, but I need to mount it to the backboard. So first of all, I make sure I have it the same direction, my writing, as this. Lay it down and put that at the bottom. Next, we're gonna make some tape loops. Tape loops are where you make a ring of tape with the sticky side out. So tape loop that. And do the next one. You're doing each corner at first. And now if you can, make 2 more loops for the center. You can also use masking tape. And now that we've gotten all the tape loops on the back, including 2 in the center, you're gonna flip this over onto your board. Make sure that it's the right direction and then center it. That means have the same white space around the whole thing. Once you put it down, you press it, and your project is complete. Now, I love this project and I hope you really enjoyed making this with clay, this relief sculpture inspired by the famous artist Takashi Murakami, who I forgot to tell you to check out. Not only Google him, but you can find a lot of pop artists who love him, like Kanye West, Billie Eilish, and J Balvin, whose album cover is made up of all of these happy faces. And if you check out Billie Eilish's Bad Guy video, she's wearing an outfit covered in Takashi Murakami, happy face flowers. She also has a video of her, which is, you can see it in a crown, and in that one, the artist Takashi Murakami actually animates Billie Eilish in an anime style. And oh my gosh, who else? So Kanye West has an album cover by him. Lots of the creative people love Murakami. So check all of that out. Keep learning about art. And when I see you next, we're gonna make another cool project.